Well. Salutations, my friends. What's a crack-a-lackin' with ye? Is all good with you today? Is the crackin' 90? Is it all savvy? Tell us, is life treating you as good as it is treating me? But I am happy to be back for another day of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Well, it would be if something didn't just immediately break, because of course it did. Sorry, give me 1 second. If life was simple, it would be fun. How are you doing today anyway? Seeing your skull, is the crack all okay? Is it all a 90? How are things going? Are you looking forward to whenever we end up doing our old game of Fortnite? Just, I would ask not to do it on this particular stream. But whenever you want to do it, we can do it. If you want to do it in this stream, do it in this stream. But just I'm not 100% sure of the timing that I'll be finishing up on this one. But whatever you feel yourself, my friend. But with that being said, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday anyways? Is you up to much? Is there any news with you? Is it all going good? Because everything with me is sound and dandy. I mean, you said that it was going to end up being Fortnite, so it's up to you. Whatever you end up feeling yourself. Anyways, time to end up going in. We are finally at the actual area we're meant to go into, the Forgotten Battlefields. So we'll see how that ends up going. Should be fun now as we go in here and experience what all ends up happening now. It is the first area proper we have to go to after the end of the first act. Should be some fun now. I mean, whenever you want to, that's up to you. I'm not, as I said, I'm not good at Fortnite, so it'll be its own stuff, but that's about it. I mean, to each their own. Whatever you feel. I don't agree. I don't think WWE have done anything wrong, but whatever you think yourself. Why are you saying screw WWE now, Skull? What has them? What have they done that's ruffled your jimmies? Be interesting to end up hearing now why you end up feeling that. But either way, just
you'll get used to them. We're going to
you heartless bastard.
If we hurry, we can cross before nightfall.
These are all former people that ended up coming from where they're from. So he's being particularly heartless, turn around saying you'll get used to it.
Could we bury Gustav? I wish we could. But protocol is to keep moving. Gustav would understand.
I actually like that I have glasses on her too, because she might end up be hiding the fact that she's crying, so would make sense.
Nice spot.
Actually, there is a place. Past the quarry, out of sight of the painters. A tranquil haven. Protected by magnificent trees. I think you'll approve.
So he is insanely busted, by the way. If you can figure out a way around using Verso, he is insanely busted. We figured that out the last time. But I must say, I liked Gustav's playstyle, so it is quite a shame not to have him anymore. Oh, well. Straight into a fight, I suppose.
Let me show you something.
Oh, is this meant to be the tutorial fight with Verso? Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh no, this is the tutorial fight for Gradient. Why John Cena last year we're gonna see him versus Cody in some type of match 4 to 5 times? Because it's the biggest match they end up having with the two biggest merch sellers that they end up having. That's why. Ooh, okay. That's different. How does that work? How does that end up working? That's intriguing. Now, I don't know how... I didn't see that being explained properly. I don't know how the gradient counter ends up working. But we'll figure it out, I suppose. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. We might be a little bit overpowered. I want to skip all of this and see if I can figure out the gradient. No, never mind. I wanted to see if I could figure out the gradient counter again, but it doesn't really matter when it dies straight away.
Any other tricks we should know?
One thing at a time.
Okay, so we are in the Forgotten Battlefield. Interesting little spot now. Like, shipwreck sites are always particularly beautiful when it comes down to these type of games. But, like, I will say, the way that the sun is coming down, the autumn leaves are flowing, and the whole lot does give it that extra feeling of dread after something horrible is after happening. So it is particularly beautiful to see this being the case now, that that after our friend Gustav is after leaving the mortal coil, that you know, we get to see this beautiful kind of sight of moving on and, you know, continuing, and the feelings that end up coming down to it, because there is underlining feelings that end up coming from these type of imagery. Like, it is dour, but it is light coming as you continue to move. So there is symbolism to what's happening there as well, which is, you know, beautiful, but clunky, in my personal opinion. But we'll see anyway as we continue to go on here what ends up happening. If the shocked, honestly, that there isn't more Nevrons, or even more that these, like, we're literally stamping over people walking here. I'm surprised there isn't a bit more crunch or a bit more awareness to the fact that we're doing that. You know, a bit more annoyance by the other characters. For so, it's understandable. He's gotten that heartless. But with the rest of them, it's a bit odd that they don't say anything about us walking over former expeditioners. What about Punk, Roman, Drew, Seth, AJ, Miz, Ray, Sheamus? Well, look, it's not going to be Cody for the entirety of the year. He's going to have this tag team match with Cody. They're probably going to add Travis Scott to it, so that means it's going to be the Usos and Cody and Travis Scott and Logan, which makes sense. He's definitely going to face CM Punk at some point in time. They just didn't want to do a recall of Money in the Bank, and I don't really blame them. It's more than likely 100% guaranteed that it's going to be AJ Styles in France, because why wouldn't it be after the reaction he got before? I'd say before it ends up finishing, it'll probably end up being Dominic Mysterio at some point in time as well. I mean, we don't know that. That's just the grapevine is saying. It mightn't actually end up being Cody at SummerSlam. In fact, it would make more sense for it to be Logan Paul and Cody at SummerSlam with the way they've everything set up. Well, there's the Expeditioners list. So that's what I would end up doing if I was doing the way they've everything set up now. I would do Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam and go down that way. Or they might even add Seth into the equation. We don't know, but that is a crap ton of Expeditioners. But we'll see what ends up happening. Like, we don't know. All we can do is hope and watch and critique it after it has happened. Like, I was not a fan of Saturday Night Main Event. Even though it was a good show, I didn't watch it because of the advertisements, the way that they were being done on YouTube. And I'll happily criticize when criticize needs to be done. But they didn't need to be they don't need to be criticized yet. We need to wait and see what's going to end up happening, and then we go from there. These are they are starting to get really close to Bloodborne enemies, and I actually love it. Like the design of some of these enemies is incredible, to be honest. Immediately up to B. Weak to nothing, which is surprising. Okay, impaling combo. Okay, I don't... Okay, so I still don't get how the gradient works, so we need to figure that out. Okay, relentless combo now. Okay. So I done the timing on that horrible. Is the... So the... I should have read that tutorial a wee bit better, because I genuinely don't know what the hell we're meant to do with it.
Ready to strike.
Okay, so...
Oh well.
Jump, smashing, jumping combo. Oh, that's the gradient, okay. So you only do the gradient when it colors like that, fair enough. So it's like the jump, fair enough. Yep, fair enough. Mortal hit is a gradient, fair enough. This is a gradient as well. Oh, okay. So there is actually still timing to it, which is weirdly not weird enough. Okay. I mean, fine. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But in general, we'll see what ends up happening. For the most part, I don't have that much of a problem with what WWE is doing, Skull. I will say I find it particularly funny that they spoilt the Alberto Del Rio versus El Hilo del Viquino match at in Mexico next week in about 3 days' time. Because on Raw in America, they ended up writing that it was for the AAA Mega Championship at Worlds Collide, when the match between Alberto Del Rio and El Hilo del Viquino hasn't happened yet. So I will say that is specifically funny, but there's not really much you can end up doing about it.
Let's go the path.
God, I'm after losing my words there, but yeah, it's funny too how when you start getting stuck into a game that it can just start hitting on you quite hard when you're not playing it. I have been salivating at the idea of getting a chance at this game again. Like it's phenomenal how much it ends up making you want to end up getting your goes at it again. So, you know, an awful lot of people said an awful lot of things about this game, how it's game of the year and all that, and then I understand why people who wouldn't be big into the RPG scene mightn't end up enjoying this game, and that's completely understandable in within themselves. But I must say, when you get to play it, that's when you start to feel it. Like, it's different the way that you interact, the crunch, the feel, the power that ends up coming across your hands when you end up doing it. When you get strong in this game, you get mighty, mighty, mighty strong. I'm not at that point yet. Trust me, I'll get there. But the strength you can end up getting, like there, just 5,000 damage. The max we currently can end up hitting. The max we can currently end up hitting is 9. Ooh, 999, like that. That's the max we can currently end up hitting, so it is interesting when you feel that level of power, when you feel like a boss. And that is one of the things that unfortunately has been spoilt a bit to me. I know for a fact that at some point in time that cap ends up being released, that you can go above the 999, and that's where it's interesting in these type of games. Is it better to stick with the power scaling system set in reality with large numbers but small enough that you know them, or when you go into the billions, millions and billions, does it start to end up pulling you back from it? In terms of the aspect of game design, I've always found that interesting, because to me, it's always felt like that pulls back a bit from the game design and does end up making you feel a wee bit different. You do feel a bit off when you don't know the complete values of what you're going at, when the numbers are so astronomically high or astronomically low. It does end up giving you weird feelings towards it in terms of the game design that it ends up bringing true. That's my feeling on it anyway. I would be curious what other people end up feeling about it. Also, give me 1 second. One last thing I forgot to do. Pin that there, and then do that there as well. So for anyone that wants to. Anyways, continue at this for now. That's up and running okay. Yes, and yes, and yes. Coolaboola. So yeah, it's just one of those situations. But yeah. And it's funny too how God, it does not feel like they're a bunch of dead people. I must admit, it's probably my one problem with the way they have this particular design set up. It really does not feel like that's a bunch of expeditioners. It just doesn't. It doesn't have that gravitas to it. Now, I know they're turned into a marbly stone substance anyway, so it wouldn't be particularly easy to tell, you know? They're a silvery color that's meant to merge with the background so that they become one with it, and I understand that feeling as well, that kind of approach to the technical design. But it does seem quite odd not to make it more prevalent that they are, in fact, you know, corpses. It just feels like a mud pile for the most part. To me, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, and people end up having different feelings towards it, and that's 100% sound. But yeah, that's just how I end up feeling about it at the moment. Ooh, what did that do? Interesting. That's the first time I've seen that image put on someone. Get rid of the small buck anyway, because he seems to be able to cause a good bit of damage. And he is wrong one. Accidentally click... The joys of when you accidentally click left as opposed to... when you accidentally click the confirm button as opposed to the button that ends up moving you to the left. You know, joys when you end up making that mistake. The keyboard management. A wonderful problem to end up having, to be honest. Ooh, Lune. Oh my god, Kitty, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? How are you doing on this fine Tuesday evening? I don't blame you for accidentally clicking on it. Once you see my beautiful face, of course you'd end up clicking on it. I mean, it brightens every dull day. But how are you doing anyways? Is everything good? Dandy? Delicious? How's the crack with you, my friend? I mean, I'm not too bad. I'm happy to be back. The last 2 days, I've been busy doing personal stuff as a result, not being able to do the streams as I normally would. But thankfully, that haven't caused any issues or anything like that, and it's happy to end up getting back at it. Play a wee bit of this. I'm semi-considering changing and doing this one at home and moving to something else, but for now, I'm grand. Them sauces been depleted. Alright, now the sauces are never depleted here, my friend. They're always available for those to end up nipping at. I have no idea what the hell you mean by that, by the way. Trying to rectify a situation of my ignorance. But yeah, no, thankfully all is sounding good now again. Back at it, back at the fun, back at the crack. But what about yourself? Have you been up to much? Did you end up watching any of the football for the last week of the Premier League? Did you end up going anywhere exciting for the weekend? I think in America it was a bank holiday weekend, I believe, because that travesty of a movie, Lilo and Stitch, ended up coming out. So, you know, fair play to anyone that ended up making that the biggest opening of the holiday weekend that they've had. I mean, that's a showcase that Disney still have at least a little bit of pull for whatever it's worth. I don't recommend anyone go and see that movie, by the way. I really don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you do. It's not one of those cases of you're wrong for watching it or anything like that. It's just, in my opinion, not a good movie. Especially the ending of it, but I'm not here to spoil movies. Ones I showed you. Oh, nice! They've been dispatched. I forgot about them. That's delightful. Now you'll be excited for when they end up arriving. What's the first thing you're going to end up cooking with them? What's the first accoutrement are they going to end up being for? Nice. We are literally in the trenches of a war at the moment. Interesting, interesting. Kind of a particularly gorgeous area, but quite... Like, this is the type of area where one or two sticking out of the walls would be interesting as well, of the expeditioners. That would add a bit to it now to make it feel a bit more like, you know, they've gone through war, as opposed to just slumping them in one particular location where they barely end up feeling like they're anyways involved, you know? We didn't end up getting the hit on this. That's annoying. But we should be grand. And yet we're still faster. Island breeze ones with fresh prawns and a soft taco. Not too bad. That's a nice idea now, to be honest. And how will you go about cooking the prawns? Is it just a... put them on a hob and let them kind of boil through themselves? Do you end up eventually giving them a bit of a fry? How do you end up doing the prawns? Air fryer. Fair. Fair. It is this oftentimes the simplest and best ways to cook anything, the air fryer, to be honest. It's an astonishing piece of technology. Amazing to think that it took as long as it did for it to actually become into existence as well. My biggest problem with air fryers is the cleaning process of them. They're a pain in the arse to clean. I don't know if you find that now yourself when you end up using them, but in general they just are a colossal pain in the arse to clean. Where is the timing on that, by the way? But you don't. Okay, so this is where you end up getting the best conversations, ladies and gentlemen. What process do you end up going to cleaning your air fryer? Do you use a particular device for it? How do you end up doing it properly so that it isn't a pain in the arse? Because I just go with a spun, skip and move on. Fair enough. That makes complete sense, Katie. That's a question that Crack needs to bring up to ChatGPT to end up making it easier for himself. I just can't get the grime off of it. But yeah, no, air fryers for the prawns is not a bad idea now, to be honest. And like, will you marinate it beforehand and like marinate it on the prawns, or will that be on top of the prawns after they're cooked, do you think? I hope you end up adding the finished product into the attacking the food section of the Discord. Nope, wrong one. Yep. Son of an alien whore. God, she's made out of bloody butter. That's insane. I love tap-ins of knocking her out at the moment. It's actually kind of funny. The damage that he ends up doing sometimes. Anyways, yeah. I wouldn't actually be the biggest prawn person now myself either. Unfortunately, it isn't a particular fish that I'd have much interaction with, much to my chagrin. I have to start expanding my horizons a bit more when it comes down to foods like that. Like for me, I'm typically just go for the usual Irish cod type situation whenever I'm eating anything like that. Benny Coggy, my good friend, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? Is all on 90? How has work been treating you? Is my dulcet tones finishing the day off for you? Are you streaming tonight yourself? Are you going to end up going in and trying to get a round of golf? And many other questions that we end up going. It's been sound, to be honest. In work, enjoying the crack there as much as one can when you're in work. Sat down here now, just playing a wee bit more Expedition 33. Enjoying it so far. But seeing how things end up going now. Having the crack and just chatting with everyone that ends up popping in on any of the devices that we end up coming in from. Todges, my friend, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? Yeah, from the bagging station. The joys of that, too. For those of you that didn't know, when I went over to the United game, I ended up bringing over a school bag with me. And the school bag was too big to be brought into the actual stadium itself. But the actual stewards didn't tell me until I was getting into the bloody entrance. So I needed to run to the bagging station. And it took me 13 minutes to get into the bagging station, drop off the bag, and get back to the seats. The joys of it. Yeah, you know, that's the type of crap you end up learning for the next time. Oh, it's atrocious, to be honest. And I wouldn't mind, too, there was some poor schmucks who needed to go from one end of the stadium over to the other. There was a buck in the queue with me when I was over there who ended up having to walk 25 minutes in order to get over to it. Yeah, well, I mean, if they'd done that for me, I would have been screwed because I literally had to carry around the bag. I wouldn't have been able to go to the game because I literally had to carry around the bag because I was flying home that evening. So, you know, I'd be screwed if that ended up happening to me. I mean, it doesn't help that we got beat. It doesn't help, too, that it was West Ham. You know, let Benny end up having his moments of salivation. Where his absolute crowd of shitholes ended up beating an equally bad piece of shitholes. But what can you really do? You try your best and go from there. You live with the pain and you just well it down inside, you know? Maybe a Twitch delusionist is more accurate, but yeah, I mean, you weren't that bad to end up meeting Todgers. But what's the crack with you anyways? Is your Tuesday going well as well, Todders? Have you gotten up to much? I mean, you're here listening to moi, Benekage. You're listening to the best dealer of the crack this side of the Atlantic Ocean. You came for some reason. I can't speak for your mental acuity or your sanity for coming into the stream, but you did come into it. Not really much I can do about that. Yeah, and only 4 more seasons until he becomes your star player. So we stop for advertisements in order to ensure that everyone ends up getting the same experience. So we'll just end up letting a little pause end up happening here, and then we'll continue on once the advertisements ends up being finished. Weird that. It should have come up on that one as well. Anyway, for the time being, I think I'll just do that. while we're waiting. Not decided which sauce I bought I'm using for the chicken tikka kebabs in soft folded flatbreads. Ooh, nice. Will you end up cooking the flatbreads yourself, Katie, or will they be pre-bought flatbreads? Because that sounds awesome. What attribute would you like to pre-bought in? What attribute do you technically end up recommending, Benny? I mean, you'd have to see the attributes that he has at the moment in order to know, wouldn't you? So I might end up letting you know the next time you're doing FM on your stream. Not too bad to have them pre-bought. I mean, they're gorgeous either way, to be honest. Flatbreads. I mean, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. The only problem I find with the pre-bought in flatbreads is it's kind of hard to get that kind of nice crunch that you end up feeling sometimes with flatbread. Or maybe I've just been eating nothing but badly...
One more thing!
Badly, badly, given, kebabs. I love that one. I've set them up to be working on the vertical as well, so anyone on TikTok that ends up coming in or on YouTube vertical and wants to end up seeing what those random noises are, come over to the Twitch or the horizontal YouTube. Well, thank you, Todd, just for letting me know. I'm after changing it now. You know, sometimes it's nice to end up having your head upside down.
Mama MIA, Papa Pia, baby got the diarrhea. Benekaj played text-to-speech for 1,000 channel points.
I love how it came up with Mama MIA. That's hilarious. Instead of Mamma Mia. Mama, I'm missing in action. Hi, Noel. How are you, nothing like coming on to the YouTube anyways? I mean, it's nice to end up having it there. I mean, ultimately, that's probably the goal, get everyone over to the YouTube at some point in time. That's future cracks if I ever end up exploding. Because, you know, advertisement on Twitch has died a death in the last week. Like, I don't know who it was, but someone ended up showcasing that their stats went from 17k to 46. 46 euro went from 17,000 quid in a week to 46 euro off of Twitch Turbo, which is a sign that the advertisements are leaving, so the rats are leaving the sinking ship, which is astonishingly funny, to be honest. But yeah. No bother. Sorry, I figured the fucking words. It is probably, but that's specifically Turbo, and like it's also one of the top streamers, you know. Yeah, there does seem to be a specific, you know, kind of. I know the Hasanabi situation's a bloody joke anyway, but like there does seem to be a particular attack on Twitch at the moment as well. Yeah. Although I will say, when I was searching up a couple of things, one of the stats that ended up shocking me quite a bit and is 100% accurate. Anyone who has averaged over 6 viewers in their stream If you have over 6 viewers in any of the stream that you end up doing in an average for a week, you're considered one of the top 5% of Twitch, which is astonishing to me. That I find that unbelievable that if you that if you have account that at that level that you're in the top 5% on the entire platform. Aaron, now Katie, don't be mean to me. I always love to have you. Who else will be ruthlessly mean to me? I mean, yeah, I'm technically top 5. I've ruined it for myself. I've ruined it for myself. I was top 5 for maybe 10 minutes. Well, who ended up raiding you for that one? That's why I love. To be honest, that's one of the reasons why I love the FM community, because there is it's surprising, to be honest, how big that community is. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. When we ended up having the load of bots in there coming through, I do remember that. That looks like it's meant to come up and just start attacking you. Some weirdo, huh? Okay. Definitely wasn't yourself. I think my record, actually, for most viewers at one particular point in time was my second ever stream. My second ever stream, I ended up getting raided by Josh Peach. And 109 people ended up coming in. And to be fair, a good half of them stayed for about an hour afterwards. So it was one of the best that ended up happening. I mean, all you have to do, Benny, is come out of retirement. And I'm sure they'll go back into the atmosphere, your viewing points. If you go back into to commentary for CSGO, you'll end up getting back the hundreds in no time, my friend. Oops. I need to remember that mortal hit is this dodge. Seeing your duck, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? How are you on this Tuesday? Is the crack a 90? Is it all going good? What are you up to now, my friend? Have you gotten up to any mischievousness? I mean, I know, but it is the sad thing about it. Like, at the end of the day, you have the two choices. You can chase the easy money, or you can chase the happiness. And oftentimes, you're better chasing the happiness. Money, at the end of the day, doesn't mean that much. Like, although it's easy to say that when you have money. I don't have money, so I'm being a complete and utter hypocrite. This is complete hyperbole, by the way. I'd never do this, but I'd sell my own firstborn in order to be given £1 million. Complete hyperbole. I wouldn't do it, but you know what I mean. I'm at that point in my life at the moment where I don't have enough to not deny the easy pickings. So if it was me and I was in your situation, Benny, I'd be letting them be as toxic as possible. I'd still be at it. But then again, as we all know, I'm a corporate chill anyway. It's the reason why I pick the big clubs in FM. Maybe you can get me your old role, and I might be able to end up getting some of that old school fame. Nah, kid. I'm sure. Do you ever watch it nowadays? Anyway, the CS:GO tournaments. Or do you bother? Because I know you do. You still watch the Unreal. Oh, bloody words! I know you still watch the Unreal Engine, the Unreal Tournament. Sorry, Unreal Tournament 3. Or whatever the name of that bloody game is. I mean, there is a lot of that, yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too is an awful lot of people, and the other big thing too is that an awful lot of people that have money are just too ambitious. There is and an awful lot of people don't talk about this. You do need to put a limit on ambition, because if you become too ambitious, you become overran by your ambition. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but you do need to be careful that it doesn't take over every aspect of your life. I know someone who, for 18 years, ran a haulage business here in Ireland. Got to the point where he was all over the 32 counties and it expanded out into Europe. He had one point in time had 53 different haulage trucks on the road and was making, God, millions a month. He had gotten to that point in time. But he was spending so much time away from his family that ultimately they ended up leaving him, and then just, everything ended up going down the kibosh. So you do need to be careful on how you go about it, what you end up doing with it, and the whole lot. Life is about balancing. You need to figure out your balances. Like taxes, ironically. It's a really weird bloody map. Down the wazoo, glad they did. What? Once you're too rich, you can never have enough. It corrupts your soul. Maybe. I always wonder about that. I don't know how accurate that statement is, if that's the reason why that ends up happening. I think it's just that, unfortunately, you get to the point, especially when you have money. The problem with having money is you'll spend money. And I know that sounds like the complete stupid statement, that once you have money, you'd spend money. Because what do you have money for if you're not going to spend it? But, that's the problem. You'll never really have enough until you end up getting to the point that your style is completely changed and everything, you know? What have I missed, by the way? Or have I missed anything? Nope. So I just ran around like an idiot for no reason. Nice to know that nothing has changed, even in these type of games. I just go around like a fucking idiot doing nothing for about 10 minutes. I will say, Verso's running animation isn't near as good as Gustav's was. But to be fair, Gustav had the assets. And I don't feel... and I know it's an okay replacement, but I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable using these. Because, I mean, they're nice, but I think they know what they were doing. Specifically with that one. I dared and done is stupid. Ooh, interessante. What was this so-called stupido? I mean, Gustav's just had a I won't lie. Gustav's had an element of envy. Nah, kid. The other reason why I'm unhappy that Gustav is gone is because Charlie... It's still not fixed, Duck, by the way. So, but Charlie Cox was doing fantastic in that role.
Ready to strike.
Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Cool. Anyways. That's been there for a bit, the socials one. It's just a complete mess of a command because it doesn't end up formatting it right. Because unfortunately you can't get the bot to do spacing. But they're all there. Except for the TikTok. And the kick. Yeah, the one I had pinned was manual. So, you know. It's still not great, but it's something. Yeah, I done it manually this time. I thought it might be a wee bit nicer. Wrong. I'm wrong, but I thought it might be a wee bit nicer. I was just too lazy to end up pinning the regular one, so tricky shot. We faced this thing as a boss earlier on, so the fact that I can't get the timing down on it is incredibly annoying. Also, there's a question for you, for any of you that are into RPGs. How do you feel about an enemy that you ended up facing earlier on as a boss coming back as a regular character later on in the game, as a regular mob? I actually don't mind it too much if it's done with like it's just thrown here, and to be honest, they're not the same character, they're just a lesser version of them, so it makes sense. But I do like when it's given a bit more of a grandiose feel, that the boss is after coming back down to this level, you know? So I do prefer when it's done that way. But what do you end up feeling about it, if you end up playing these type of games at all?
Let the ink flow.
Yeah, Iceland. Oh, damn it, the timing was horrible. DBZ types of redemptions. I mean, yeah, kinda. Kinda, where no, then, in this particular case, I meant it as further enemies, not like Vegeta coming back and being part of the team. That happens as well sometimes, too, where,
New crack, how could you? Dodegod_of_extinct played text-to-speech for 1,000 channel points.
That was a really bad no for the text-to-speech, to be honest. But, how have you been conned? Explain to me. What have you been conned by? And how can I laugh at your pain? I missed the last one.
I'll manage.
It's not my fault that it didn't end up doing it. It's your fault for thinking that it would. It did say that it was going to be the word. I mean, it was 100% accurate. It gave you exactly what you wrote. So in the immortal words of my grandfather, who was a wise man in these type of negotiation practices where things would end up going somewhat wrong, he would turn around and he'd say, "You could kiss the right into me left arse cheek." As I finish my cup, by the way, at 9 o'clock at night, my flask of cinnamon roasted coffee. Cinnamon roasted, would you believe? Would you believe? Cinnamon roasted, the shit they can do nowadays. You can end up having a nice cup of joe, roasted with a bit of cinnamon. The joys of it, it puts a bit of quaintness to it. Better than calamine tea. I mean, is the FFS? By the way, I'm trying to be more. I'm failing, as has been apparent because you've been in the stream for 53 minutes, and I've already failed multiple times. But I'm trying to be more cognizant of the fact that I have a potty mouth and not do it near as bad. Both to make the likes of Up whenever he's in happy, and to make the stream more. Well, advertiser friendly for if I ever do actually need to try and make this into something worthwhile. But what's the FFS about now, Duck? Explain it to me. What's the for fuck's sake for? Anyways, for now, while we're waiting on Duck to actually get his words together, we'll just focus on destroying this weapon that is blatantly, obviously, a Bloodborne enemy. I'm sorry, it just is a Bloodborne enemy. That timing is a bit odd. The first one is very fast, but good. Good at the same point in time. Anyways, yeah, in this case, we'll just hit with the base move, which will do that. You are now here. This will do an astronomical amount of damage, by the way. Yeah. It's insane. Like, I don't get Verso. I kind of do, but I also don't. Verso is busted if you can get him in the right situation. I think he unlocks more stuff. Well, I know he unlocks more stuff later on because you can see it on his thing. But like, it's just one of those cases of his skill set is busted as it is. But like, he is definitely one of the stronger ones there. But I'll honestly say, and it's a benefit to the game, I don't think any of these characters are weak. I know an awful lot of people don't particularly use CL that much, because she's a bit more complicated than the others, but I think she's just as strong. Like, I'm going to take out Verso and put CL in now. We probably won't finish the match as quick, but who cares? Thought you'd have to go and get a drink. Oh, Duck! Duck. You never, ever leave yourself perched. For a man with a voice of this beauty, for a man of a voice of this integrity, you can never leave yourself without some beautiful ishka, without some sustenance. Never. I'll never get caught again, not after the first time, not after all those days ago. It was horrible when it ended up happening, but the throat was caught and there wasn't a lick of intensity out of me. I couldn't have my usual rasp in the way that I spoke, and you thought that I wouldn't have the ishka, the water, the sacrilege here in order to drink. Fool. You're a fool. I don't have a fucking clue what I'm at anymore. I think I'm cracked. I think I'm broken. I don't know what's happened to me, but I think I'm broken. I don't know what has happened to me completely. I genuinely think I've gone off the rocker. I think if I was to do a psychiatric test now, I'd probably fail. I genuinely think I've just broken. Genuinely, it's insane. His cranium, yeah. I might have cracked the attack on the crack's cranium, yeah. Although wait until I end up getting an animation done at some point in time when I end up getting someone that I actually know is somewhat decent that ends up doing something akin to the crack addicts assemble. What the hell? Oh, I didn't even know you could do that. I'm after falling off of the pillar and it killed me. That's the first time that's happened. You can actually fall off of it into your death. I don't think that's happened to me before. Oh, you're gonna 20 during Twilight. Ah, I was wondering why she sometimes ended up getting that. My striker in Ireland has 16 goals in 9 games. That's an impressive record, I must admit. So what's his... Hold on. So, what is his top record? So, like, I will formulate this into a coherent sentence. Bear with me while I contemplate what the bloody sentence is meant to be. In what manner did he end up scoring the most goals? In what game? Sorry. What was the... Okay. Why am I being such a twit on this one? What is the most amount of goals he scored in one individual game? That should not have been that difficult to say. I don't know what happened there. That should not have been that difficult to say. That was atrociously difficult for no reason whatsoever. She needs the bloody defense anyway. She's just like a glass cannon at the moment. Well, no one could say that I don't fight until the end. Just say I done that atrociously and I still managed to end up fighting to the end to make sure that it was somewhat competently exchanged. So she has that increased fire damage to all enemies every turn until Lune receives damage. That's basically Fire Spin from Pokemon, which is interesting. But I am not good enough at this game in order to avoid her taking damage, and I know what I actually want to get. I want to get Elemental Genesis, so I think we wait and we get that. I don't know when we unlock them, by the way, but whenever we do, I'm sure they're going to be powerful. As for you... Nothing. As for you, Mael, what entire nations do we give you? Rain of Fire has worked very well. Consumes up to that. It's useful. But do we want it? I mean, probably. No, we're gonna wait because she probably unlocks something soon enough too, so. HSD 2 separate hat-tricks 2. I'm guessing that was meant to be had 2 separate hat-tricks 2. Got him for 3.6 million from United. Why does it not shock me in the slightest that you managed to sign him from United? Like, United would end up letting go of an actual star. Oh, I mean, he is a star for Shamrock Rovers. He probably wouldn't be a star for United based on those stats. Well, he might be. And do you typically play him as an advanced forward in your particular game, Duck, or how do you end up going about it? Why isn't that working, by the way? Sorry, give me 1 second. It didn't save. Interesting. Should work. Anyway, rest here again. And we'll be moving from here down to the next one down on the Forgotten Battlefield down through this pike. However, the ads are about to start in 1 minute, so we'll just wait a second while they do, so they don't get into anything too stupid. It has a gorgeous soundtrack, this game, to be honest. It's astonishing, the soundtrack. It really is something I think everyone should consider putting onto their list of Spotify soundtracks, because it is genuinely fantastic. Well, of course, too, this thing is delaying itself, so never mind. We'll move, and then when it actually stops, I'll stop. Because, of course, it is me trying to be nice and end up doing that. Remembering that TikTok has the attention span of a bloody goldfish. So, this is probably a net negative for TikTok, to be honest, but who gives a crap? Ah, there we go. There's the advertisement. Although, why? Oh, that's why I don't have it seen out. Okay, I'll fix that while I'm at it now. So we have that. I can now go and do that. And I can now go and do that. Cool, now it's working for TikTok. Fair enough. Just so it's equal opportunity arseholism for everyone. because, you know, I might as well be a fair dick. I do need to get I do need to get it to actually play music during this particular point in time, which I'll end up doing in the near future. But for now, we'll just put on something in the background until it ends up going through. I picked the first random thing that ended up coming up. Don't judge me too hard for what's playing. I've gotten into a bit of kind of, you know, not hard rock, but kind of, you know, hip-hoppy rock type music for the last wee bit as well. This type of music, I enjoy it, so... Oh, we're back, so never mind. Here we go, my foolishness can be diverted for a bit. Anyways, again, I would like if it made a bigger deal about the fact that all of these are former expeditionists. I would also like to note there's thousands of people on this. And they stated that the expeditions have only been going for about 60 years. So I wonder if these are expeditions from other places as well as Lumiere. Because if it isn't, and this is just from Lumiere, the fact that that town was as small as it was doesn't make that much sense. Well, they literally would have been jumping on top of each other if it was the way that it is, you know? Ben, my friend, what's a crack-a-lackin' with you? How is your Tuesday treating you? Is there any news at you? Have you gotten up to anything exciting? Are you enjoying the now freedom from the... Oh, crap baskets. I don't... Okay, so my opinion on the... I'll answer in a second. Yeah, so my opinion on the Cunha deal is... He's a good player. A very good player with a rash attitude. And even though he's a bit of a shithouser, it's the type of attitude I want a player to end up having. The willingness to fight, the willingness to go on. And I already like that he is of the opinion that he wants to elevate things with Amarin as well. I don't like that some people are going to use the nationality thing, because I think Cunha is part Portuguese as well. So people are going to use that in part of it as well. He's going to be used as a 10, which is beautiful. If we're getting rid of Garnacho, he's going to be needed. It really depends on what we end up doing with him. If the rumor is true, and we're going in for Mbumbo, or however you pronounce him, from Brentford, and we're going in for Liam Delap, and the entirety of the front line is changing, fine. I think if we're doing that, though, we probably need another centre-back if we're going to put Ahmad as the right winger. Because my fear with putting Ahmad on the right wing would be the Trent problem, where he's fantastic going up front, but doesn't have the defensive capabilities to end up doing it properly. I never considered that, considering he hasn't really needed to defend. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, yeah, and that's the type of mentality you want. And the thing is, like, it's not going to happen, and this is not where we put. This is not where you realistically put your goal. Okay, so like obviously you have your goal, but then you have what your dream. It is technically possible for United to come back next season and win the league. That's not what you want to happen. It's not what you think is going to happen, because it's really unlikely to happen. But you need to have the mentality that every season you go and play, you're going to win the league, because you could do a Leicester. We're not going to win the league, but you know what I mean. You need to have the mentality that you're going to win the league. Otherwise, why are you there? And that's the case for every team, never mind United. That should be the case for anyone coming from Ipswich as well. Your mentality can't be, oh, I'm going to stay up in the Premier League. Your mentality is, we have to fight to win the league. Even though you know you're not going to, you know? If you know what I mean by that. So I really like his personality. So I think he'll be very good for us. It'll be interesting to see. Supposedly we have 3 days before Bruno needs to make his decision. So we'll see. I hope we do a lot more business if the Bruno deal goes ahead. Adrenaline in my soul, something, Cody Rhodes. By the way, who started that? Was that a Santi Zap thing? Because I know Santi Zap done it a lot on TikTok and Instagram. Or is that something that the audience just started doing because they didn't know his team song? Cunha only gets sent off every other week, so that's something. Yeah, but... And that's a problem in of itself. That's a showcase of how bad... So an awful lot of Cunha's send-offs have been light. But you need to know that that's going to be a thing. But I actually don't have a problem with that level of aggression. So long as you rein it in a bit, you know? I don't mind him getting a yellow card every single week. If you can kind of contain the Reds. And he hasn't been as bad towards the end of the season as he was at the start. So we'll see. It's between 3 to 5 streamers at the moment, depending on what happens between then and now. Oh, sorry, let me see. At the end of August, depending on if you are the last man standing on the Been Good to Ducky streamers wheel, you could get some bits. Oh, well, Duck, as I've stated before, I'll never say no, but I'm not going to end up stating that you have to or anything like that. I will thank you so much for it, and will appreciate it beyond the world if that's how you end up doing it. But I mean it when I say this. You don't have to. But whatever you feel yourself, my friend. I don't want to stop you either, because you don't want to bite your own foot off. But you don't have to feel like you have to. Do you feel him, sir? My own foot? Yes, I feel my own foot. What do? Sorry, that was a stupid joke. When you say "do you feel him," what do you mean? I don't think so. I think it's a random. Oh, you mean so from It might have been the Young Bucks, was it? Because I don't actually get the joke, to be honest. Maybe that's just me being stupid. And in fact, it isn't a maybe. That's definitely me being stupid. But, God damn it, Mayel, you're made out of bloody paperweight. I suppose do that. Yeah. I just want to dodge this. Can I dodge instead? No, okay. So you have to do the gradient dodge, which is a counterattack, and I didn't want to counterattack because I wanted to bring Lune back to life. That's interesting to know, and actually incredibly annoying because it adds an extra element in that's going to be a pain in the arse in bosses, but we'll see. Have not including favorite streamer, as he's had 50+ subs off me in total. Hey, whatever you feel yourself. I mean, like, continue to support your favorite one. Otherwise, at some point, he might end up stopping Duck. Just do whatever you feel comfortable with yourself. You know, whatever you think yourself. I'm not gonna say no anyway, but but I'm glad that I'm in the running for it anyway. I'm glad you consider me a sound streamer. I noticed that I'm not in the running at all to become your favorite streamer, and that hurts. That hurts a little bit. I thought we've built a better rapport than that, Duck, but I understand. When he tagged with Jay and said, okay, that's what it was. That drunken press conference between himself, Cody Rhodes and Jay is still a sight to behold. A beautiful, beautiful amalgamation of horseshit. Like, it is ridiculously funny that they weren't told that they were meant to be in that press conference. That's what makes that even funnier. They weren't told that they were in that press conference. They just went and had a couple of drinks. Like that's astonishing to me, to be honest, that WWE let that happen. As Cody Rhodes said that night, myself and Jay decided to have a couple of libations to celebrate the championship win. They literally weren't. They weren't meant to be at the press conference. I think. There was an injury on the show, and I can't remember who. Someone got injured on the show, and they were meant to be in the press conference. I think that's what happened. It's been so long that I don't remember, but it is very funny. It might have been Priest. I don't remember. As I said, it's been so long that I genuinely don't remember what ended up happening, but I think that's what ended up happening. There was meant to have been someone else there instead of them, and an injury ended up occurring that meant that that person couldn't end up being there, so they just plucked the brand new champions, which was the right thing to do anyway, but, you know, still funny. Where is this? So that's coming down this way, which means I need to find where it's meant to go. Your top 2 of 5, if I were to choose outright. Well, thank you so much. What can I do to improve, Duck? What can I do to jump, to leap frog over the individual in front of you and go from top 2 to number 1 of the 5? Let's hope someone drove Jay home that night. I know both of the brothers have oh, shut up, you. I know both of the brothers have DEI. I know that both of the brothers have DEI issues, but I think it's Jimmy that has more of them than Jay. Or is it Jay that has had the major DEI issues? I always forget. To me, it doesn't really matter. Like, I do have a distinct problem with drunk driving, but like when it comes down to them, like, he apologized and seems to have been acting grand since. It's down to the wheel. That you chicken. You chicken, Duck. That's not a proper answer to my question. You absolute chicken. God damn it, Luna. Why did the timing delay itself there?
Get up.
Oh my god, what am I at? This is a special case of me being incredibly bad. Yep. I mean, yeah, I genuinely don't like Jeff Hardy for that as well. But again, there's nothing wrong with each of your individual choices. Like, RVD has been in many a situation like that. He's just not as, you know, dangerous about it. Yeah, the Jeff Hardy problem I have is the fact that I'll never. There's many things I can end up equating, and I can separate the actions of someone from the rest of their career. So I will always love Jeff Hardy as a wrestler. But also as a wrestler, if I was in the wrestling industry, I wouldn't have much time for him since the Victory Road situation in 2011, where he was absolutely off of his rocker and Sting needed to forcefully hold him down. That, you know, I would have lost respect for him as a wrestler as a result of that. Still an incredible talent, but I would have lost respect for him as a wrestler for that. I'd say more than half the list are United fans. But hey, that's a showcase of good talent. Relentless combos, so... God, oh, for Christ's sake, Luna. Well, I say Luna, but like, this is genuinely me, but it's just being crap. I mean, whatever. I go out of my way to try and revive them, and it fails miserably.
Nice.
Okay. So... yeah, we're back near the start. Oh, so that is a jump down. So you can't go back up there. Okay, that's weird. That's really weird. That's insanely weird, actually. But what can you do? Continue to go around and enjoy it, I suppose. I'm doing it more for reaction bait clip. Well, I hope I'm helping in some type of way for that, because you're always good at getting the reactions. To be honest, good for you if your clips have actually done phenomenally well on TikTok, so feel proud of that one, Duck. Although you're not going to get much rage out of me for that, because I completely understand it. I genuinely don't expect to be anyone's favorite streamer. I'll do all of the effort I can and ask for the improvement stakes and all that, but I couldn't give a crap if I'm your favorite streamer or not. Being brutally honest. You know, it's one of those situations. I just, if you come here, I'm glad that you come here. I'll happily end up having the conversation and discussion with you and continue to improve, and hopefully you continue to enjoy it. That's the most that anyone I can do and you can do. Anyway, Jared Bowen not being in the English squad is a disgrace, by the way. I do agree, to be honest. But I also think if he had any bloody gumption about him, he'd move in the summer. Because I'm sure there's going to be someone looking for him. There's plenty of people looking for those type of forward positions. But what can you really do? I feel sorry for those type of situations. It's the same thing with the defender, Chamori. Like, Chamori, for years, should have been in the defense for England, and bloody wasn't. And it's not fair that that happens. It happens to a lot of bloody English players where they're just overlooked. Be it because of the team they're at or favoritism from the managers, I couldn't tell you, but it's a joke. I saw a clip of Philly fans doing the "no one like us" chant the other day. It wasn't too bad, to be honest. Crap, wasn't paying attention.
A storm is coming.
It is, and unfortunately, I'm leaving.
I'll do it. I'm ready.
Really, unless you hit all of them.
Let's push forward.
I mean, I'm not a fan. I said it in Benny's chat when he was there. I don't like Potter. Yeah. That doesn't surprise me, to be honest. There's no United, other than Harry Maguire, maybe. There's no United player that deserves to be in the squad, to be honest. Except for maybe Maguire. There's nobody who deserves to be in it. From City, who would you pick? Grealish hasn't been good enough this season. Philip Foden has disappeared. I mean, yeah, Rico Lewis, I suppose, is a shout. But do you pick Rico Lewis over Trent? Well, I suppose you can put him on the bench. Oh, is it Rico O'Reilly? Oh, okay. Because Rico Lewis is English as well, right? Or am I getting completely bloody deluded on on the players I know? And then, yeah, Spurs. It's yeah, it's just weird, to be honest, that they're not picked. Oh, it's Nico O'Reilly and Rico Lewis. That's what I thought, yeah. Because I used to play a Football Manager game on my mobile, and Rico Lewis was just Rico Lewis was just the best He was just the best right back in the game. Yeah, here's something I don't get, and maybe this is horseshit, because it seems like it's horseshit. Supposedly, Mazraoui has played the most amount of Premier League minutes out of anyone in the Premier League this season. That seems like horseshit. He's definitely the highest in the United squad, I understand that, but the stat I had heard is that he had done the most amount of minutes of anyone in the Premier League. That seems like horseshit to me. It seems odd to me. Yep. 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 What do you do here? I suppose this. According to the Premier League, it's Nathan Collins in the league as the highest outfield player. Really? Huh. I mean, he's not a bad player. But surprising, I suppose. Who's he play for again? Brentford, that's what I thought, yeah. Yeah, but goalkeepers are an entirely different kettle of fish. I'm surprised they'd even be in the bloody equation, because it's very, very rare for a goalkeeper to be swapped out, isn't it? Well, it's just United, we were testing to see whether or not Belinder was anyways good. That'll be a showcase of how much gumption we have, by the way, if we sell both of them. Like, you're not gonna, like, we spent 15 million on Belinder, what, 2 seasons ago? Or was it 1 season ago? We're not gonna get that back, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Well, in our case, definitely not. Onana has been benched 4 times? I think there was 4 games where Onana wasn't playing. I think it was 4. Ooh, interesting. Willing to talk to Mayel, but not the other ones. That's the first time it's done that, by the way, where it's forced me to swap to the person and not just brought up the person. Interesting. Well, typically in these type of games, straight is the finish point, so we're going to go down the right and check things out. I wonder who would be rated the... Like, I know Onana, in terms of stats, is statistically top 5 in the Premier League, astonishingly. Which is the reason why I don't abide 100% off of stats. You do need to be paying attention.
My bag's getting weighed down from all my kills. Maybe I need to pick smaller trophies.
Wow. What a brag. What a brag.
Some of those armoured nevs. So I've got to get at least 8 in this next batch if I'm going to beat her.
I love when people brag like that.
Double up my weapon pictos. Might not be stable, but the bang's going to be worth it.
I love that. I love this voice acting.
Out of our reach, but her minions aren't. And if I die, I'm gonna make sure I die big. Like Xavier says.
What is
is not our game.
God, if Xavier... By the way, I'll talk about that match in a second. Up. But if Xavier Woods wanted to make himself into an even bigger heel, he'd turn around now and he'd force everyone to start calling him Xavier. Instead of Xavier, he turned around and says, "You're no longer allowed to call me Xavier Woods. You now have to call me Xavier Woods." Just the pompousness of calling yourself Xavier Woods. I know it's French, but at the same point in time, that's beautiful. But yes, you're 100% right. That match was very Penta doing the complete doing the kind of vertebreaker plus the double-armed pile driver. It was scary as hell because like Chad Gable just bent like a bloody knife, or bent just like a pretzel. Like, ooh, you're going a bit you're being bold up. You're being bold with that statement. That's all we'll say. I like Soraya, but like, crikey. You have to feel sorry for her in that moment that crap was sent out. And supposedly it was Xavier that did it. My biggest problem with her returning is the same problem I have with AJ Lee returning. Both of them were good for the time that they were there. But neither of the two of them are good wrestlers. AJ Lee is not a good wrestler. She's not good at the wrestling. She's not bad. She's better than Soraya. And ironically, for a woman coming as a third-generation wrestler coming from the family, Soraya is not a good wrestler. But there's so many bad women in WWE that I fear Soraya will be the veteran amongst them, and I don't think she's good enough as a veteran. Based on what I have seen of her in AEW, she hasn't improved enough to be that. I think she needs someone to cart her around the wheel. She can be brought to a good match. I don't think she can do a good match, and that's my worry with her. AJ Lee is able to get a good match, but she needs a partner. She's not going to be the tango that raises the bar. Is AJ Lee returning? Who the hell knows? Every bloody time CM Punk is asked about it, he turns around and he says it's up to her. She'd make a crap ton of money if she did it, but she also has a production company where she's making a crap ton of money, so she has literally no reason to come back. But that means diddly squat in the world of wrestling, so who knows? She might come back at some point in time. I mean, technically speaking, they are. Technically speaking, they are counter-programming AEW, but I genuinely don't think they care at the same point in time as well. So it's one of those situations of they are counter-programming AEW. Like, there was no reason to have Saturday Night Main Event this weekend, other than the fact that Double or Nothing was on. Like, Saturday Night Main Event, and then 2 weeks later you have Money in the Bank. They literally plonked it there in order to do it. Like, Worlds Collide is literally the same weekend as All In Texas. So, like, they literally are counter-programming. It's just, they're not counter-programming hard. If you get me. It's not like they're going it's not like they're going as strong as they possibly can. Well, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not tribalistic about either company. I prefer WWE to AEW, but that's because I'm a fan of WWE. I have no ill will towards AEW, and I definitely don't. It's definitely not a situation if I want to see it fail or anything like that. You know, so... I mean, Duck, we knew that already, but do explain why you think it. Down. Nope. Okay. Dead. Yep. Oh, god damn it. I forgot the movement of it. Advertisement time, ladies and gentlemen. You do need to expand. When I said what made you think you were a dumbass, and you say you had a serious brain fart, that doesn't exactly narrow it down as to what you think it is. I mean, I've been having brain farts all stream, and I'm not a dumbass. At least I don't think I am. Am I a dumbass, chat? Don't tell me I'm a dumbass. Have I been a dumbass all this time and lying to myself? I mean, I can answer that question. You're our dumbass, at least I'm that. I can answer that question. Jamaica were playing Trinidad and Tobago at Brentford because of the money. Because of the money. Because of the greatness that is. This is the problem. This is the problem with having too many blurps. I will at some point in time put them down on the screen.
Here we go.
I think it's easier than going through it myself.
Here comes the money.
And now on YouTube, I have been demonetized. But yeah. The joys of trying to be fun. Check the league record attendance, and it was our record, but the biggest that our current stadium, bigger than our current stadium, couldn't figure out why. I forgot I played at the Aviva for a year due to building a new stadium. Oh, and your stadium is smaller than the Aviva as a result of that. How much of a difference is your stadium? I mean, yeah, I'm very curious if we're actually going to bother going in for him. I'm even more curious as to whether or not we should. I mean, Mbumbo is what? He's 20-something, isn't he? He's in his late 20s, isn't he? U-E-M-B. So he is... Oh no, he's born in 1999. So he's 25. I mean, that's sound. That's sound. Buying him for 25 isn't that bad. I mean, I don't think we're going to, mind you. That's just stating that if we were going to buy him, I don't actually think that's bad, considering he's that age. I thought he was a lot older than that. I didn't realize himself and Cunha were the same age. With Cunha being slightly older, you know. But I didn't actually realize they were the same age. Around 7,000 less than the record. And can it expand bigger than the Aviva? I've had to move to St. James Park for a season in my South Shield save. Not fun. That's interesting. And with you moving to St. James Park, oh shit.
Let's push forward.
Okay, well, at least we know we can beat it, even though we're not going to beat it. Nope. Okay. So it has somewhat similar timing to the other one. Fair enough. So St. James Park is obviously Newcastle's park. It is Newcastle, isn't it? St. James is Newcastle. Or am I getting completely mixed up again? Newcastle, yeah. Newcastle. Are they still in it? Or have they built a new stadium? Because, like, they're currently in the process in real life of building a new stadium, aren't they? Or am I wrong on that? Because I know that was one of the things that ownership said they were going to end up doing, was building a new stadium. I was meant to change their bloody weapons. Was building a new stadium. Got the timing of that nice. Oh no. Oh crap. Okay. Shit. CL is going to end up CL can't use her attack. She keeps regenerating them. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. I wish I could change our weapon. If they wanted to put that system in, I should be able to change his weapon. Crap. Anyway, they want to, but I have no clue where to. Exeter City. No, but a few seasons away from being able to build a new one. Another new one. Interesting. So how many seasons have you been in it? When were you in the Avivas? Like, how long has it been created? And is the Aviva still there? Or have they created a new, like, national stadium? 23, fair enough. Fair enough. I love hearing those type of things. It's so interesting to me. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Sunderland versus Newcastle will be limbs next season. Why? Why do you think so? Why are Sunderland known for going like heavy against Newcastle? I know nothing about that rivalry, if that's a regular rivalry, by the way. Oh, interesting. Oh, I wouldn't have known that now. That's going to be really interesting. I think Sunderland, if they're able to keep some of their players, are going to be the dark horse of the league next season. To be honest, I don't know if they're going to have enough in them to get by, to not get relegated. But I think they have a very good chance of it. I hope they have enough in them. I'd love for it to be wrong, and for a team that's up in the Premier League to go down, just to make it a wee bit different, you know. Won 6 in a row at one point. Those True Geordie videos after each derby were cinema. You know, I've never actually watched True Geordie. Unfortunately, it was never someone I ended up getting into, much to my chagrin. I hear his content is actually really good. Damn it. All of these are dark. This is going to heal him, isn't it? No. Also, is it Mael's? It's Mael's. Oh, so Mael is the one that's giving it back to him, because Mael's is fire. That would make more sense. Oh, Mael is shite in this fight, so because she can't get into Vercioso stance. That's interesting. So she's just wrong to bring in this fight. Because of the build that I have with her. She's just wrong to bring into this fight. She's just a complete waste of time in this fight. That's very interesting. And there's no way to swap out with the other character. This would be one of those cases where it'd be nice to have the swap out. Because there's literally no point in going for the dodge on that. Mael will end up healing him. But by the way, what's your dope about Duck? Did you just get word that you're... Oh, he is burning. Oh, so we can go into it. That's surprising. Oh, so he can't burn. No, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I need to wrap my head around this one. He absorbs fire. He absorbs fire, but he can get burnt. There's no Pokemon logic going on here. I mean, technically speaking, yes, but it was the same. Pogba got banned for the same thing Connor Ben got banned for, wasn't it? But yeah, no, it's interesting, this. Illuminated because she's using... Okay. Ah, Luna got the counter. Nice! It's nice to finish with Luna. She actually has the power to do it. It's nice when it works out perfect for you. Now, here's the thing. Because we get caught, Twilight will end up doing the most amount of damage. It'll get to 999, but it probably isn't the thing to go for. Sealed Fate is probably the thing to go for, because it'll use the foretell on each hit to increase the damage as opposed to doing more. So we should get more than 9,000 doing this. If we don't get more than 999, then we know to use the alternative options that consumes all of it and just goes like that. So we need to pay attention to this now. Yeah, so this was the right move to do, but just barely, funnily enough. And then we end up doing this, which will just destroy him. Yeah, look at that. Just eating him alive. Oh, that time it hate. Oh, weird. Okay, so... What? Yeah, so he absorbed the fire. So I tried to add the fire onto him because it absorbed the fire. How did he get burnt? I don't think he's meant to get burnt. I think it's a bug. I think it's a bug. I don't think he's meant to get burnt. I genuinely don't think he's meant to get burnt. I think it might be a bug that he got burnt. It must be off of the counter. I'm not sure what caused it. It's interesting, though. Oops. Should have been paying attention there. Or is it the fire? Is it this that does it? Is it the counter of this? No. I mean, I know I can do this, actually. I can make him weak to fire, ironically enough. That should have made him weak to fire. So he should... Oh, it did... It's... hold on a minute. So the move that makes them weak to fire doesn't work on someone that absorbs fire. I mean, fair enough. I should have known that, but that's still a semi-annoying. I mean, it's probably better to do the Phantom Blade and just break him. Oh, just dead. Like that. Nice. Thankfully, that was easy enough. Who got them? Okay, yours are leveling up. And who got the weapon? Luna, okay. Killing an enemy with foretell applies its foretell to another random enemy. Fair enough, but I just like this. The fact that sun skills always give 10 foretell, which means you get the maximum amount of damage, I just think that's better. Oh, up. Let's hope you get something fun.
So what have we ended up getting now, my friend? Is it in any ways audible, or did you pick something that ruins everyone's fun? I mean, it's audible. Ironically, it has a background music as well, so this could be astonishingly loud, so bear with me if it is. Okay, I don't know how to feel about this. This scene is astonishingly weird. Background music will be off for a bit, and then I continue at this. I convinced a 40 million player to play for Ireland. Still, the Sheffield United forward keeps rejecting it. Literally, it's called the Crazy Clown.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah, okay, so do that now. But yeah, is he anyways good? as a forward, the Sheffield forward. And is it because why is he rejecting you? Is it because he's waiting for another club? Like, does he have dual nationality? I assume he does, since he's rejecting you. Or is it just that he just doesn't want to? Or is it just that he doesn't want to play for Ireland? Is this Declan Rice, Jack Grealish situation where they have lineage to England and are trying to get there instead? Well, you said that you've done particularly well with Ireland now. So where would you be ranked as Ireland in the world rankings now, with the way that you fucking words, with the way that you have it set up now at the moment? Would Ireland be good? I have to figure out a way to change the audio source on TikTok, because, oops. Currently, it's, if I end up playing the voice back on Twitch, which allows me to hear the blurps and stuff like that, it ends up playing twice on TikTok. But that's future Crack's problem. Who's your United player of the season? Unsung hero, worst player of the season? I mean, the United player of the season is Harry Maguire. Because he was dead and buried and was meant to be sold, and came back and actually proved that he was meant to be good, and now he's not on the chopping block this season. So the fact that he was on the chopping block last season and came back and proved himself to be good, that's enough for him to be the player of the season. I know it's Bruno. I know it is Bruno, but I think based on the question you're asking, that's my opinion for it. As for the worst player, I hate to say this because I still believe this, as much copium as I have to be smoking at this point in time. The worst player of the season has to be Rasmus. It has to be Rasmus Højlund. But I still think, with massive amounts of copium, that there's a player there. I still think it has to be Rasmus. Rasmus has just had a disastrously bad season. Now, with that being said, I said this to someone, and maybe it's because I like the player. Maybe it's because I have copium to it. There's an awful lot of people turning around saying that he's not even a player, that he doesn't have the fundamentals. I mean, fair play to them. I don't agree. But I think what's happened with Rasmus is it's blatantly obvious Rasmus got into an argument with Garnacho. Blatantly obvious, and Garnacho outright refused to pass to Rasmus. I kind of think Rashford was doing that to him before January, and even now I kind of think Dogu was doing it as well. So I think 3 or 4 of the players just outright refused to pass the ball to Rasmus. On top of that, the English media have been ramping his ass, as have the fans. And I think his confidence is just an all-time low. I genuinely think that the pre-season, if he's still with us, could be enough to bring him back to being a good player. Should he be our principal forward? No. No, he shouldn't. But I think this year has been a hindrance in development. So yes, he's going to be 23 this coming year. So he should be the star striker. But I think this year has been such a hindrance to him that it's caused him to regress in his development. I think if he got 1 year with the principal striker in front of him, I think there's a player there. And I honestly think if he leaves us, there's a significant chance he might be world class. Kind of like how Anthony is playing at the moment. Now, Anthony's an entirely different kettle of fish, because Anthony had the court case as well as everything else, you know. And I don't want to talk about something that my information on is skewed at best, but like he's been proven. Well, he's not been proven to be innocent, but he wasn't proven to be guilty. So take that with whatever salt you want to. Ran through the ground there. Based on everything I have read about it, he is innocent. But again, not my place to talk about it. I haven't done the investigation properly in order to figure that out. But with Anthony, it's the same thing. I think the abuse that Rasmus has been getting isn't fair. And I think it was the same for Garnacho. I think the abuse Garnacho was getting was unfair. I think that's a major problem that United have. I think their youth, especially foreign youth, get brutally claimed. Now, at the same point in time, I think even the English people get unfairly claimed as well. Like, I don't, and I understand the pain to it, entirely different situation. I don't think the hate that Mason Mount has been getting has been fair. I believe the hate that Luke Shaw has been getting has been fair, but that's because Luke Shaw literally went back to England injured and re-injured himself. So Luke Shaw was entirely different. Mason Mount joined United, immediately got injured. That's on the medical team, not on Mason Mount. And I know he's been injured since, but again, I blame that on the injury on the medical team, not on Mason Mount. And I think, and I know he didn't prove it in the final, I think that Mason Mount is perfect for that position. So maybe that's copium, and maybe I'm being too nice to the players. Maybe I just have too much optimism for them. But I will 100% agree they haven't been performing good enough. That's my viewpoint on it. But to answer your question again, I think the best player this season it's obviously Bruno, but the best player this season is Harry Maguire, and the worst player is Rasmus Højlund.
57, Carla. These siege engines seemed.
Am I talking complete shite up, or do you have any feeling about it?
These broken bodies, staring at the true size of the monolith, I feel despair. I dare not show my true feelings. As
Yes.
commander, I cannot yield to fear.
Yeah, Maguire would be the unsung hero.
But wonder, is pressing forward the correct course of action? Our lives are forfeit anyway, but is there perhaps a better way to spend such precious coin?
I could be a dry shite. I could be a dry shite and say the goalkeeper coach who Ruben said he'd rather play than Rashford on the bench for the mention. I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't think this season Onana has been as bad as he was the season beforehand. I don't. With that being said, he's not. It's blatantly obvious that. Did the string go down? Am I active? I mean, I didn't drop any frames or anything. Sorry. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't think Onana has been that bad this season, to be honest. He was bad the season beforehand, and it's blatantly obvious the defense don't have confidence in him, and that alone is enough to sell him. Unfortunately, that alone is enough to sell him. When the defense don't trust you, that's enough. You're gone. Unfortunately, that's enough to end up doing it. So yeah, it's hard, but he needs to go. Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Up, because I should be grand. I didn't drop. It's just weird. I thought it seemed like it said that I was unstable, but I didn't drop any frames or anything. So I still should be there. Let me know if you can't hear me up. It did actually drop, considering it's going back to the start with the ads and the whole lot. Annoyingly. God damn it. Just on Twitch, though. Everything else is fine. But what about yourself, Up? Who's your unsung hero of the season, and who's your worst player of the season? I did, Duck. Good striker. 27 years of age. So, bit funny that he, considering he hasn't been picked for England yet, you'd probably think that he isn't going to be. The other thing I'd end up asking, though, is you're ranked 7th in the world. At least that's what you said. Does that mean that England are ranked below you? Because it's interesting that he wouldn't join you if they are. I mean, he looks crazy, the striker that you have up there anyway, I'll admit that. He looks very, very good. Okay, and the advertisements are finished there. England are 2nd. Well, that makes more sense, so. I was wondering why he wouldn't end up, I think I'm better going for so. Why he wouldn't end up joining you. Are you kidding me? Sorry, give us a second. Oh god, everything is running to shite. Why didn't that come true? Why didn't... I should be connected on Kick. Oh, it didn't. Oh. Bella, I don't know if you're still there on Kick. God damn it. Kick was meant to be part of this. So, give me 1 second now. That's nice to know for the future. Because Kick is not connected. It's meant to be connected. God damn it. Okay. Do that now. Sorry, guys. We're just delaying things again. I'll play a wee bit of music while I'm at this. And then we'll continue on afterwards. The joys of this game, not having the music just continue to play. Yeah, should come in there. And I'll get to your questions now in 1 second. Sorry, guys. Just had a issue here in the back. We're just trying to resolve it. Damn it. Long time into it, too. Yet. That's so annoying. TikTok is connected. Cool. Kick isn't yet, so for now, I suppose, considering I can see years, I'll do this for now and go this way, and in the future, we'll end up having it better. So, sorry about that there, guys. Okay, so, I'd normally agree, but I had an amazing Brazilian goalkeeper come through my intake. Tried to get him to play for Ireland many times, and he finally got capped at 33. Oh, I mean, if you get him, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter. Like, when I was with Portugal in my save there, one of the new gens that I had 3 nationality lineages. He had, and ironically, he's with me on in Real Madrid. Stefian Morgan in my Real Madrid squad is Portuguese, Spanish, and French. and can play for all three of them, but he hadn't signed up for any of the other two clubs. And even though Portugal were ranked #1 in the world, he refused to come because he had the chance to join France.
Not impressed.
It's just sometimes it works that way, unfortunately.
Let's go the path.
But if he plays for you with good enough quality in the whole lot, who cares? Shit. Shit.
You're outmatched.
So the timing on that was atrocious. Okay, so he slams down. Coolaboola! Got a counter. I'm 27 for individual club coefficients. What does that mean, by the way, when you're stating that for individual club coefficients? Are you stating that like where you are in terms of the world, or what is it exactly you're going for when it comes down to that? Oh, that move does so much damage when you're in B. It's bonkers. What? Why did Mayel not have the obscure? Well, Mayel, you're changing your outfit. Yeah, why did you not have that? I mean, I don't really care. You're going with this for now. And we'll give you that. There we go. Weird. It's not that hard. I carry every other team in the country. Bit annoying, really. Yeah, I'd say it is, to be honest. I'd say it's plenty annoying, not a bit annoying. But, like, has your brilliance in the League of Ireland improved the League of Ireland at all? Like, have they upped their game at all with you being good? Or is it still a situation that everyone is crap riding on your coattails and there's not really anything that can be done about it? You just have to continue to fight and hope that Europe ends up bringing enough fire and brimstone to what's going on. Is that how that ends up working with you, or how is it working for you, Duck? No bother up. If we were watching Rick and Morty, that would just make sure you don't borrow someone's. If there is anyone on Kick, by the way, I now have the chat working again for me, so I should be able to see it. I don't have it integrated yet into the viewing, so you won't see it come up on the screen yet, but I can end up reading your chats now.
I don't want to see that anymore.
Look, my
I
Elliot.
thought you would understand. You said you spent your immortality burying the people around you. Doesn't any of this bother you?
Would it, though? Eventually you become numb to it.
And you. Gustav's dead. How can you keep going like nothing happened?
It's funny that she says that, considering she knows what the rules are.
We need to continue.
Why do you...
Mael. You know what we must do. When one falls.
It is quite a gorgeous opera piece, to be fair, though. She is coming across like a bit of a spoiled brat, Mayel. But it is a gorgeous opera piece. I mean, she is 15. So it does make sense, but, like, she is coming across like a bit of a spoiled brat. Ooh. That's a FromSoft boss right there. That's definitely a FromSoft boss right there. I mean, how well you do on average compared to every other team in Europe comps over the region of time, and how high up the table it more money. Irish Prem is 18th. So does that mean that the rest of them are getting more money as well? Like, obviously you probably rush the league every year you play it because you're at a European level quality now, Duck. But is there anyone of equal, or not equal, but near quality to you. This actually really reminds me of Lies of P. Just this particular segment. Ironically, also, you know, French. You know, Pinocchio, they do the kind of orientated towards Paris and France and that as well. A game I'd love to end up purchasing. I haven't purchased it yet. I wonder, in this particular case too, what would happen if you didn't have the healing abilities unlocked with Lune? I mean, I'm sure they expect you to, because why wouldn't you? But it is quite funny. Ooh, the Juleste. And ironically, we don't have the person that was standing up for everyone. Let's see what he's weak to. Okay, so again, he's resistant to fire. Resistant is grand, though. Okay. So we know for the next time it's when it hits the ground. Interesting. But he's burnt, so that's sound. Add more fire to him, I suppose. Okay. Attack swiftly, and he's going for my L. So there. Nice. So the timing on that was quite easy to determine, so that's nice to know. We can now go with Swift Stride and do this. We can do, well, we could do Grim Harvest if we had Grim Harvest. Unfortunately, we don't. So I think it's best to just hit and do Grim Harvest next turn. He's resistant to that as well. Okay, so we have two people that are he's resistant to, so... There. Okay. Timing on that's going to be annoying, unfortunately. But we'll continue on and see how she goes. We don't need the healing light yet, so we'll just attack and hope that we build up enough in order to revive CL. He's not weak to fire, or he's not weak to electric, but he's not resistant to it either. I think we go Pierce, which will do... He's not marked, but this should do about 5k. Yeah. Damn it. Well, that's annoying. It's annoying that it doesn't, like, you'd think that if you were that much ahead, that the rest of the league would end up at least attempting to, combat and compare. It's unfortunate that they don't. I understand why it would be hard and a pain in the arse, but it's just, I would prefer if they were, if they did end up competing up there, especially if you're bringing consistent new money into the league, which you seem to be, considering you're always like in Champions League and would end up going far, well, not far down, but further down than most would. It's good that it went after Lune. Lune is the one that does the most amount of damage to it at the moment. Cool. Thunderfall again, I think is the best thing to do. This should do a lot of damage. Well, a lot is 4, so not that much. Unfortunate that we missed that, but there's not really much you can do when it happens. And again, full whack. So that's why this weapon is so good, because it immediately adds on all of the foretell, which is fantastic to end up having, because it means that we do a crap ton of damage when we end up coming around. Hopefully, we'll end up being able to do 9,000 when we end up coming to it. But for now... And I love that the Clair stands count as fire for this to do more damage as well. Oh, so a yellow means critical hit. I should have known that. I should have known that. Fair enough. 4K. Oh, 3K. Okay. Swinging combo. Okay. Nice. And a critical hit. Nice. Oh, we went. Well, I was going to say, unless we had a second mode on this, which we might do, to be honest, with the way the cinematic is going. Oh, that should not be that cool. That is not fair. Oh, the timing on that. It's not that bad in terms of timing, but there's a delay as opposed to some of the other ones. So that's where that ends up coming in. I think we go Phantom Blade, honestly. Because it'll do the most amount of damage and should eat up all of the foretell, which is 20. So this should do 90. This should do 999. Yeah. With CL, consume 20 foresight in a single target. Yeah. I figured it'd do 999. Now, that's still not doing that much damage, which is insanely annoying, but what can you do? What can you do if you're not a drunken sailor? Okay. Okay, so now it ends up coming out as well. We're going to need to keep an eye on that. Rain of fire on you. And we do need to heal, so we do have enough for Thunder, but I'm going to heal... No! Okay, never mind. Never mind. That's a waste and a half. What can you do?
Let's dance.
Holy shit. What is that? Yeah, I figured it was going to be a case of you'd win by crap tons of points too, Duck. 30 points is quite a significant margin to end up having. But it's just unfortunate. Is there anything you can do? Like, obviously, you probably have to go into the editor and just improve it in general. But is there anything you can do in order to improve the league? Like, could you intentionally sell, or obviously, why would you? But could you intentionally... The fuck is...
This will hurt.
I don't have words for that. What the fuck? Okay. Attack swiftly, fine. Damn it. We almost had enough in order to get the counter back. If in Virtuoso, stay in Virtuoso. This should stay in Virtuoso, so... That done way more damage than I thought it would. Holy crap. That's what you like to see. So, board would just ask me to charge him more before finalizing. That's annoying. That's actually genuinely annoying. I mean, it's understandable too, because you wouldn't. Like, realistically, you wouldn't end up screwing yourself, so I understand it. But it is genuinely annoying.
I'll do it.
What? Inverted? What?
A storm is coming.
Is the status effect that prevents the character from being healed? Oh, they take damage if they get healed instead. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Feel the burn.
Yeah, we don't have a choice but to do that. As for you... I don't know how long that's going to end up lasting, but
Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
I mean, fair play to you, Dodo. Fair play to you. I don't even know if I can do the heal on him now, with the inverted status on, but we'll go for now. Stormblood, okay. Okay, there is timing to that, I just don't know it yet. Mayel is more important, because Mayel can actually kill it.
Let's finish this. Ready to evade.
I didn't see it. Are they any good? What ages are they? Because they should be young if they're doing it right at all, considering they want to do the entirety of, supposedly, if the plan is still the same, to do 7 seasons for the 7 years. Then they need to be able to do that, so they should be young enough. Like, if you're doing it right, none of them should be above the age of maybe 7. I know it's hard to find actors at that age profile, but if you're doing it right, they really shouldn't be older than that. Maybe 10 at most. If I'm honest. This second half is a pain in the arse of a fight. But at the same point in time, I think we have it. Nope, not yet, we don't. Oh, well, maybe we do. Yeah, maybe we do. It's doing this cinematic bit now where you don't really do anything, so I think it's just over. It is pretty, this, but I'm not a massive fan of it. Finishing a fight with this type of cinematic. Although Verso using its own sword is kind of cool, to be honest. Oh, he even gets the sword. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. He's even taking his own sword. Base attack is 1 extra hit. That's actually really good. Reverse so takes that straight away.
You did well. You learn fast.
Ooh, crap baskets.
Is what we're fighting for.
Yeah, to stop this from happening. Still, at this point in time, you're talking fucking almost hundreds of thousands of people in this pile. For 67 expeditions, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people there. If it is just the expedition. Anyway, I'll look at that weapon in a minute. I'm just going to quickly go and use the loo, so just bear with me and I will be right back. Well, how are things? Pleasure to be back after that short little break there. So, I noticed that ye noticed that things aren't exactly properly up there and incrementing up the regular standard edition there. Keeping up the global emote. I'm probably going to change that to have a global emote to see how many times people have ended up doing it, like a global check-in. I tried doing it user-specific, but the variable hasn't worked for me as of yet. I will get it eventually, so that all of you can know when that ends up happening, for the one point that it actually does. Well, thank you so much for the second time doing it, Duck, considering you know the stream dropped. I appreciate that beyond belief. Ooh, yeah, we were meant to look at Verso's new weapon. Also, instead of that, you're getting this. And let's look at your brand new weapon. Your brand new weapon is the Dulcio. Play again after a base attack. What? Oh, crikey, we're just giving him that. Okay. That just sounds absolutely broken. That sounds every single shade of broken. Also need to fix the microphone on TikTok. There we go. Audio is up. By the way, let me know if you can't hear me, guys. You should be able to hear me now. If there actually is anyone still here. Did you check, but you don't save VODs, so it could copy paste what you did? I do save VODs. Just for some reason they don't come up right. Like I have the VODs saved there. It's just they're not saving properly when you look at the account, and I'm not 100% sure why. Some more stuff that I need to end up looking into. Hopefully Bella Stephanie ends up coming back into Kick at some point in time. I missed her chats. But did you check? But you don't save VODs, so it couldn't copy paste what you put before you died. Was reborn, and did you say? What did you say, Craig? Oh, well, I was just asking how are things going. Now I can go back and get what I had saved before, so just bear with me 1 second, and I'll do that. So that it is in the. So that it is there. So what I had put in before was this for people. And like in general, it's probably better for algorithmic purposes and all that to try and get people over to YouTube, but it's all sound to stay on Twitch for now. Like it doesn't really matter the grand scheme of things. But we'll just wait for the advertisement to finish and then we'll continue on. I probably have another what? I'm probably going for at least another hour, I'd say. And I wonder when the stream did go down, how many people knocked out. Of course, I'm always on. Well, I say always. I'm trying now to be on TikTok and kicking YouTube as much as possible as well. It's a shame this stream didn't have many clippable moments, did it, Skull? Or not Skull, Duck. Ah, screw it. I'm planning on making some content in of itself anyway to put up there, specifically around wrestling and stuff like that, that I'll end up doing of my own accord. Just need to figure out the proper way to design it, whether or not I'm going to put background music on it, blah, 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 blah. All the crap that's not important to talk about here. I try to, as much as I can, anyway, when I end up making mistakes. But thank you so much for calling it out, anyway. Yeah, nonsense needs to be called out as much as possible. So thanks for brightening my lights, for giving me road to redemption.
Interesting.
I like that little graphical UI. By the way, I found there was an interview put out there recently, and I don't know if any of you have played it, but there was an interview put out there recently that the creators of this game said that they love the way they ended up doing the UI and the whole lot, but there's still never been a game that has better UI principles than Persona 5. Now, I love the way Persona 5 looks. But is it the best game of all time for its UI design and the whole lot? I can't answer that. I genuinely don't know. I'd love to know what other people end up thinking. Oh, don't worry about it. It's sound. It's just there as something else anyway. Like there's the socials tags, and if anyone ever ends up needing it, Duck, we can end up sending it on to him anyway. Do you think so? You don't like Persona 5? I mean, I know it's easy. I know it's a very easy game, especially in comparison to the Persona series. But why do you not like it? I must say I am a fanboy for the Persona series. I am a fanboy for the Persona series. I'm a mark when it comes down to the Persona series. So yeah, I'm the wrong person to talk about it. But what do you think? Why is it that you don't like it? And I'm guessing your F and not is you don't think that it's easy. I mean, it's all about how you end up doing your debuffs and buffs and the whole lot, and how much you want to end up grinding. I mean, the minute you get Jonas, the minute you get what the hell is it? It begins with a Y. Yasusuno, who has the 8 deadly strikes, you just win that game. And there's even more powerful personas than him in it now. Like, it's been a problem for years with Persona that typically you're best just doing a strength build. Ooh, random music. Now, magic is somewhat powerful in Persona 5, to be fair. A lot more powerful than it is in some of the other games. But it just means you've gone down the wrong build, or you don't 100% understand the elements of the game. Because it honestly is a very, very easy game. Especially in comparison for Persona games, I should add. Specifically for Persona games. But I'd recommend trying that game to anyone. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's another absolutely phenomenal game. A game at some point in time, if possible, I want to try and stream on this. Considering I've tanked my numbers with this game, I as well continue to tank my numbers at some point in time. Organize the proper the time periods in order to play FM versus this game versus Pro Wrestling Simulator whenever I get it started versus blah, 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 blah. You know yourself. Get them all into it. CACW will be starting soon enough once I end up getting it organized. I'm still trying to set up the database for it. Curious as to whether or not I'll actually do it with regular like WWE and AEW in it as well, which I can do considering I have a database downloaded for that and could just add CACW into it. But time will tell for that. Urakuma. Fair enough. I mean, I can understand that. No, I played both. I didn't play 5 on this, so when I play 5 Royale on this PC, like on Steam, I'll get the achievements again, but I did play 5 Royale on a friend's PS5. Interesting. Interesting. Who knows? When I get around to it, we'll see how things end up going. I love how they're putting down this arm, by the way. They need this arm in order to, they need this arm in order to beat the Painters, apparently. That's the Lumina converter. So they better take it with them.
Couldn't wait for me, could you? I wish we could.
Yeah, yeah,
Rest easy, Gustav.
yeah. I didn't buy it at that point in time.
I'll finish what
Wish
you
I did, to be honest.
The
I didn't have a PlayStation at the time.
They will pay.
No more dome. Just open skies.
God, that hairstyle does not suit her at all.
Emma, your apprentices, everyone.
You can leave it to us.
I love her having the glasses on, even though the goofy glasses does make it look like she's holding back her tears.
Say hi to Soph for me. Yeah.
We could never.
Eyes are still the thing that's the hardest to do. And it is, unfortunately, in CL because of the haircut I have on her. The haircut does not make her face look good for the eyes.
We continue.
Thanks.
I'll admit, I agree with you on that one. There is something to be said about operatic music like this.
In the next life.
Like, it is blatantly obvious that the characters that were given the most amount of showcase that are actual model are Mael, Verso, and Gustav. Lune as well, but I don't know what they ended up doing with CL. CL just always looks a bit off. I think to me, it looks like her head doesn't fit her body. Now again, that haircut doesn't help, so I'm immediately changing the haircut after this. But and trust me, I know. One of the reasons I keep a beard, even at the simple state that I have it here, is because I have a kind of double chin. When I don't have a beard, I go from, and I have to force myself to do it now, but I go from looking like this, where I'm somewhat healthy, to, almost looking like that. So, everything matters when it comes down to the aesthetics of it. So, CL will probably look a lot better with just that. Now, I will say, one of the big things for CL is the scar across her nose. It does, for some reason, make her face have a bit of an uncanny valley feel to it. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that it has a bit of an uncanny valley feel to it because of the scar on her nose. Like, she looks better with that haircut. Definitely the facial proportions end up fixing better. But that scar on her nose really doesn't help make her look realistic. Which is funny to think that alone would end up causing an issue, as opposed to, Gustav's scar. He's a scar on his nose as well, but just the facial feature hits the body a wee bit better. Luna, has, the tattoos and a whole lot going up, but it just looks a wee bit better. And then Mael, to be fair, is small, so she always looks like that. But Mael has a bit of a, soulless look to her. Now, maybe that's the point, considering the crap she's been through. But I do think that the men have better models than the women in this. Either way, we're done with this area. It only took around 3 hours. The joys of an RPG.
For about 2 hours. Then there's a big lake. We shouldn't go there at all. We should make a right, and then it's gonna take a few hours, and then we make a stop. We get some rest and some food, and then from there, we head north to Monoko Station.
Why there?
To recruit my oldest friend. We'll need the extra firepower, because our next goal will be to take down the paintress Heart.
Her heart?
I will say, this is probably the first time on one of the voice acting where it doesn't hit properly. Verso seems like he's being a bit more aggressive in his wordings than the voice, but yeah.
So where is this heart? What does it look like?
looks like... That I don't know, but I do know that it's somewhere in the center of old Lumiere.
You found old Lumiere,
Yes.
so it's true. Before the fracture, our Lumiere was part of a larger city.
Oh, well, that answers that question.
I've traveled with many expeditions. I was with the 58th when we found old Lumiere. But Renoir erased them before we could get further. And I don't know much more.
All right then. Let's go meet your friend at Minoko Station. And then, we'll take the Paintress's heart.
Interesting. Interesting. Awkward moments like this. It's a good bit of cinematography, to be honest, because like it's blatantly obvious Verso wanted to say something to my elder and didn't know what to say. So it's interesting seeing a moment kind of portrayed like that.
Not too high, but yeah. Oh, right. There's...
No.
And just as fun.
Oh, my husband was obsessed with the
Oh.
idea of snow. I can't wait to see some.
I didn't know she was married. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? That's interesting to think that she was married.
You seem less stressed.
Especially considering she was flirting with fucking Gustav.
Is that your conclusion? After your extensive observation of our team?
Yes.
There must be better uses of your time than analysing our stress levels.
You saucy woman.
It's important to understand your teammates.
Says the mysterious stranger who has yet to share much about himself.
Then consider this my attempt to be less mysterious.
Fair play to you, Verso.
Is that what this is?
I'll trade you. A story for a story. Quite fair, I think.
I mean, that's a fair statement, a fair thing to put out there. But does that not ring a bit? Does that not ring a bit like he's flirting?
Well, there are stories, and then there are stories.
That definitely rings like they're flirting. Whatever about the other one, that one definitely rings like they're flirting.
You first, then.
I mean, you have to go for something unusual, right? I mean, you could make her feel happy about the fact that, or try and impress her with something epic. But I actually think she prefers something unusual with the kind of sassiness she was given there.
Something unusual then? Strange wonders and mysteries?
A bit impersonal, hmm?
No, okay,
Not
pick the wrong
really how
option.
we get to know each other. No. Tell me something dark.
Ooh, going straight for the heavy stuff.
If we're going to share, let's share.
Story for a story, right?
This has made me like her a hell of a lot more than anything else they've done so far. I'll admit that. Oh, nice. Got a relationship up with them. So, do expand a bit. Let us know what you're on about there, Skull. What do you realize about Ruben's system? How do you even begin to pronounce that first name, Duck? Solomon Gundo. Like, who's that meant to be? It's like you're saying who gen, so that means it has to be some generation, but I have no idea who that is. Like, does a regen? Like, does a regen of Cristiano Ronaldo regen again into another regen of Cristiano Ronaldo? I don't know how the game works. You know that we use wingbacks at the minute. Yeah, go on, expand on that one.
You're Gestural?
Yes. We've been friends for as long as I can remember.
Gustav would have loved that.
Why? Because he liked gestrels.
Because he liked the idea of friendships that could last
Aww.
decades.
That's
We don't
awesome.
get to enjoy such long friendships in Lumiere.
I mean, his system pretty much had wingbacks. It's just that they were more defensively orientated. So like, there were wingers that played defensive. So like, it was more a defensive winger than it was a wing back. It's just, if you like the thing that we were shouting at Rashford to do, you just need to go back and do your fucking job. Yeah, he moved the regular wingers into the cam position and then moved defenders into the wing-back position. And then when he could, he signed the proper wing-backs in order to do it, like Quenda.
In case you hadn't noticed.
What about the previous expeditioners? Did you help them too?
That's a terrible way to ask questions. I always interrogate people like this.
Given the circumstances, I think we can...
She is being a bit aggressive, isn't she?
Alliances are usually give and take, as are conversations. Trust goes both ways, no?
Alright then. As a gesture of good faith, I'll show you how to use Lumina.
No need.
Well, aren't you a quick study?
But I appreciate the
Mm-hmm. Trust works both ways.
All right. As a gesture of good faith, I'll answer 3 questions.
Ooh. The famous rule of 3. I wonder what she's going to go for. First question is, considering how old you are, have you dyed your hair before?
Only 3.
Someone's a bit greedy.
3 questions with 3 follow-ups.
You're really...
That's a way to negotiate. I wouldn't be able to negotiate like this. This is probably where I would end up failing personality-wise.
Right. Go for it.
I like the, I don't like their interaction as much as I like the interaction with CL, but it is a nice interaction, I must admit.
How come Minoko lives so far?
Minoko's a searcher. They travel the land looking for gestrels who went missing after the fracture.
The lost gestrels.
Yeah. That and he, pissed off Golgra.
Dogra? Ooh! Too hostile! Thank you so much for the follow. What's a crack-a-lackin' with you, my friend? Yo, Dougie Fresh, what's a crack-a-lackin'? You've managed to make me more white than I was before. But how is your Tuesday treating you, my friend? Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're always welcome to come in and give some love, to come in and have some chat, come in and have the crack. Oh, pleasure. Pleasure to. Thank you so much. Trying a way to just grow up and the whole lot. I appreciate you coming in, and it was a good TikTok video, to be fair. You have good production value, the whole lot. I love the lighting. That's something I need to do in the future, is actually fix this back stuff here, but that's Future Crack's problem. But thank you so much for coming in. It's an absolute pleasure. Are you streaming on TikTok soon yourself, or what's your next plan to end up going around? Or if you plan on heading off again, that's all we can do. Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, there's never not going to be something that you can't improve upon. Happy out. What are you doing? By the way, don't feel guilty about promoting here. I'm basically saying to you as well. And by the way, if you want to follow the Discord there, and whenever you're going live, plop it in there. Might as well create a community and allow people to end up being brash and all that. No. That's I wanted to make sure that you don't feel that way. But the Discord is there for you in the pinned comment. Go in, connect to it, say hello, go whatever roles you want to, and when you're going live, post it in there. I'll definitely have a gawk for it as well. Pleasure to have you coming. And by the way, I love that name, Too Hostile. Too hostile to enjoy the quick. Was it not? Oh, well, thank you so much for pinning it.
How come
Minoko's
the lost...
Oh, we're not allowed to end up doing pair up with her. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you streaming tonight on TikTok, my friend? Also, as for yourself, Skull, we have 3 centre backs on the ball out of position. One of his midfielders dropped in as a centre back and had 4 at the back, but his is a very demanding role. Yes, which is what Harry Maguire is doing. He's just not fast enough for it. That's what Harry Maguire's position is meant to be, Skull. So he's malforming it now until he gets the proper players. We still need a proper libero centre back, you know, who'll end up connecting properly with what Casemiro is there. So ideally, we need to swap up a load of different positions in order to do it. But I understand what you're saying. But that's what I worry about Ahmad as the right winger. But I understand it. Aw, I love Eskia's voice. It's so cute.
I'm not just her, but yeah.
What the heck?
Yes, Eskia, I want a hug. The damn bastards made me want a hug.
Yeah. I do.
I need to make an emote for hugs now. This balloon should not be this cute.
She reminds me of someone.
Someday on FM, I will show you how he wants to fully do. It's hard to actually show you what he means. Give me a second. This will take me a minute to set up, so just bear with me 1 second. I'll put on some music while I'm doing it, and then we'll continue on with what was happening there. Ben, thank you so much for the raid. It is an absolute pleasure to end up having you. Nice that system is actually working somewhat okay to end up doing the shout out and the whole lot. I'll just make sure to give you a proper shout out here as well, and then we'll continue on. Sorry, Skull has managed to divert a bit of my attention for the moment. So there is a shout out for you there. Ben is a good old man. Make sure to give him a nice old follow and showcase there. Good streamer themselves, United supporter like myself, so, you know, a masochist. But we like to enjoy the crack, so we go what we can. Okay, so that's there. Go to this one. Go there. So just bear with me 1 second while I set this up. No, not that one. This is the type of stuff I should have had set beforehand, but you know yourself when you're best laid plans of mice and men. So, to my knowledge, I was live longer than that, Ben. Basically, the stream ended up cutting out for reasons not of my own control, and ended up resetting, much to my chagrin. But to my knowledge, and I could be wrong on this, the way that Ruben wants to play is pretty much this. Okay? So he has his 3 defenders here, with 1 basically plonked right there. Okay? And then he has his wingers there, and his winger's job is to cover the entirety of that stretch there. Okay? So ideally, what should happen is that your goalkeeper here, who would be a ball-playing goalkeeper, would be anywhere within that particular box there. Okay? So your goalkeeper, on average, would be out this far out. Okay? Which would then mean that they would be to about there. Okay? They would be up to about here. And most of the time, this is basically the way that the formation will end up being. Most of the time, that's pretty much how the formation will end up doing. Okay, so it goes up with that intent there. Often with them going more up to here, so that it'll end up swapping even more so like that. You know? What then tends to happen is that whichever way the ball ends up coming, so depending on whether or not they attack from this side or that side, then everyone moves. So you end up having them down like that, like that, like that, come back down, catch the ball, and then come back down. Okay? So whoever is here catches here, and then you have your 3 back again, with obviously your goalkeeper going back down, until inevitably you end up having these guys come in like that. Then whoever is here catches the ball as they start to run back up into their positions. He starts to run up to there. These guys morph back into their 3 and start pushing the ball completely back up. And then they run with the ball. So at all times, basically, these 5 players consistently swap with each other, as these 2 consistently run back on the recovery and lead up to the attacking up there. That's my understanding of his play, to not go into extenuating stupid details. So let's say the ball was here, like they're here. If they're here, then this job is to run back. This job, he'll be coming straight back to here. These 2 will be attacking there. They'll start warping over like this. And then it'll inevitably end up coming to basically akin to that, you know? And then everyone will start coming back up again, with these 3 coming back to the back line as whoever was there runs. And then you end up catching it there, with these 3 coming back as well in order to grab the ball, and ultimately your striker stays up there. I could be wrong on that, but that's basically what I think a system is meant to be like. So, correct me if you think I'm wrong, Skull, but that's my opinion on it. So, whatever you think yourself, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's me being disillusioned on the way that I think that it ends up playing, but effectively it ends up playing like that. So here's where we've gone wrong. Okay? So where we've gone wrong is, first of all, everyone is back further than they should be. So typically, we've lined up basically effectively like this. And so for those of you on TikTok, you can't see, unfortunately, because I don't have this set up for the small variant. So my deepest apologies if let me see if I can get it up on TikTok as well. Sorry, on the small one. Only after noticing and I didn't have it up there. So just bear with me and I'll go through it properly again. Okay. So I'll go through all of this again in a second. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay, so effectively, so I'll wait until the advertisements are done and then I'll go through what should end up happening and what I think ended up happening with us. Okay, so the advertisements are finished. Can you hear me okay, Duck? So, this is what I think. This is what I think Ruben Amorim's system basically is. Your goalkeeper is pretty much always at this line of the pitch. Okay? Unless, obviously, the defense comes back, at which point you come back. So that means that these guys should pretty much be up at about that height. With your center defensive midfielders pretty much about there. And your wing backs up to about here with them like that. The idea being that you will basically pass the ball up, and then whichever particular direction you end up going until inevitably it goes to your striker and in. Okay? With the defensive capability of this being that if a person is running down this side of the pitch here, this person will be running to catch him. This person will run in to catch him. This one will run up to catch him. And then these three will walk back to your tree. They'll start coming down. And effectively, what ends up happening is inevitably, you know, you do akin to that. So everyone forms into their own, kind of what Ten Hag was trying to do, which was make sure that everyone is kind of fluid. Then you'll catch the ball, and then everyone will move back into their positions, and Bob's your Uncle Happy out, he'll run up the pitch. What has been happening, what's been wrong with us, is Anana is pretty much always here. Maguire is pretty much always there. Yoro is pretty much always there, with Delict when he was on, pretty much always about there. Casemiro was pretty much here. With, if it was Bruno, Bruno would be literally there doing Hollywood passes all the way up. You'd have your attacking midfielders here and here, which was either Mount or Garnacho, or Bruno or Garnacho, or Manu or Garnacho. And the problem that ended up happening was your striker was way back here, with them, with that one there, this one here, and then these two wingbacks basically there and there, which meant that if anyone ever got the ball, the entirety of the winged area was fucking dead. And Casemiro couldn't move fast enough in order to cover the inside, so you're basically just screwed. So I think the big thing is we need one more defender in order to... Casemiro's brilliant in the tree when you need him to be the defensive pivot, but you need him up here. So we need someone to replace Casemiro. We need or Harry Maguire, eventually. He's grand for what we have now. You need someone to replace Casemiro who can move faster. If Bruno is remaining deep, he needs to actually go fucking up and pass properly with the people around him instead of doing Hollywood passes. So he needs to pass to there instead of over to here, which is what he's been doing. So Bruno would end up having the ball here and pass up to there instead of passing it to fucking him or him. So Bruno needs to stop doing that pass and do this pass so that they can do that, so they can do that, so they can do that, you know? So that's my viewpoint on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's where it's been failing for us. The main problem, and I don't 100% blame Hoyland for this. The main problem is Hoyland should always be up there, but in his desire to be interactive, he's always back down here, which means whoever is here, which was typically Garnacho, was always ahead of him. And whenever they ended up coming up to here, he'd start running in order to do it. The defenders would typically be there. It would either be a hard chance that they'd go for a 60-yard pass or they'd refuse to fucking pass it to him. So I think that's the reason why Hoyland has been performing so bad, because he's been back here. He's been doing a Harry Kane on it. But again, maybe I'm deluded. Maybe I'm deluded. I'll happily end up turning around stating that I am, but maybe I'm deluded. What do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Either way, I'm back at this for a wee bit. Well, there would be if it stop being a pain in the arse. Yeah, I think his release clause is something like 20 million, but Aston Villa are supposedly in for him as well, so we'll see what ends up happening.
You mean CL?
No, Mile. Have I met her before?
Oh, I mean, I'm deluded. I have delusions of grandeur, Doc. But I just meant on my analysis of the play, you complete and utter arsehole.
Sometimes I feel like you know everyone.
But fair play to you.
Oh well, that's because you're all cousins. Same, but different.
You're won the right lines, as I did say obvious as you, and as well, we're not always going to be 100% correct. Oh yeah,
So,
but I'm happy to hear out where I'm wrong and what you end up thinking.
Just like
But yeah,
Verso is Verso's cousin. Mael is Mael's cousin.
ooh,
Yes, that you're so very wise.
you know that... Well,
It's okay if you don't understand, Verso. You're still wise to me.
I love SKS so much. He's not trying to be an ass, but that's such a dick. Such a dick statement.
you're just a big ball of nonsense sometimes, aren't you?
That's why we're best friends.
I mean, fair enough. It's probably a load of nonsense anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, Duck. But it's just my opinion on it when I end up stating about it, so it's not that, big, that intrusive, or that bloody, massive. It's just funny.
That was
Yeah,
you were thinking of
I'm not just...
one.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish it showed us the hug. So we've 3 gestrels found. We went through all of that. It is now 11:20, so I actually think, funnily enough, the tangent has pretty much brought me to the end of the goddamn... our tangent has brought us to the end of my play today. So... I usually have done that with United every year. I go back and watch games again to see what didn't work. Before I go, Duck, let me know what was massive. You can't let us off on that type of a tangent and not give us a wee bit more info. But yes, this is pretty much it. So for those of you on TikTok, it was a pleasure to end up having you there. I'm going to finish up with you first. Thank you so much for coming through. We'll play the music again for a bit while I finish up. If you are interested in Clair Obscur, I will be doing Clair Obscur again probably on Thursday, but I will be active tomorrow. I'm trying to set up XCOM 2 with Twitch integration so that it has a wee bit of chat capabilities in it as well, but I might do something else instead. We'll see. Considering you're at 500 points, Skull, do you want the next stream to be it, and then you just spend the points, or what do you want to do while I'm mentioning it? Anyway, I'll be on again tomorrow after 6:30, or not 6:30, after 9:30, or 8:30, hopefully. Between 8:30 and 9:30. So those of you on TikTok, I'll chat you later. Thank you so much. Even though there was no viewers on one of them, but there was 2 viewers